The Earth people who can think are so frightened by those who cannot. The dead. The dead.
Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Viral Venom. This is number 21. It's called Living Forever. Getting an echo from you.
Yeah, because it's really delayed.
Oh, okay. All right. So tonight we're joined by our special guest, Mark Brubaker from Friday the 13th Blood Loss, Killer Pizza, and HBO'S The Gilded Age. Before we bring him out, we have to give a special thank you and shout out to Michael Claude Thomas and the B-Movie Monsters for allowing us to use their song Plan 9 in our intro video. Thank you so much to them. They're available for download all across the Monsterverse, so make sure you check them out on Google Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and more. Without further ado, let's bring out the man of the hour, Nosferatu himself, Mark Brubaker.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh my God, I told you he'd be here. Mandy didn't believe you were going to show up. She's like, not the real Mark Brubaker. I was like, no, the real one. And then here you are.
No, you never know who's going to show up. It could be anyone, really.
So, we've already
Thank you for having
me.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank you for having me,
with
man.
us.
Yeah. Anytime.
Yes. So we asked you this before, but since we have you on again, it's a new video. What's your favorite scary movie?
Wow. You know, it changes a lot because I've seen a lot of scary movies. I gotta say, there's like old horror movies that I like the Hammer films of the 50s, man, with the Dracula, Christopher Lee. I mean, nobody was better at Dracula than, maybe I still think Christopher Lee was some of the best because the original one in the 30s with Bela Lugosi, very good, very scary. When I was a kid, I refused to go back and see. When I was a kid, you could go to the theater and see multiple times. They didn't kick you out. And they had a lot of times double features and things like that. I wouldn't stay for the second one. I got scared out of my pants with that stuff. But so a lot of the older, when I was a kid, for God's sakes, I got scared of almost everything. But yeah, I think probably, stuff like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and of course the modern stuff with the Jason series. I mean, I'm not really well steeped in that, but it's scary. It's very scary. Texas Chainsaw Massacre would be another big one for me.
Have you been watching any movies lately or TV shows or anything that you can?
No, well, you know what? I finished. Well, I actually didn't finish. I watched some of the because I had to try to catch up. Better Call Saul, and because I love the Breaking Bad. I love the Breaking Bad series. I love Bryan Cranston is my hero, man. I love him. He's such a great actor, and I'm rewatching now the Your Honor series that he was on for 2 years, where he's the judge and his kid gets involved in a hit and run accident that he doesn't report, and he's trying to cover for him, and it's he killed a kid who's like the son of the biggest mafia guy around. So he's gonna oh my God, my kid goes to jail. He's gonna die. I got to get him out. He follows through that whole thing. So yeah, I love Bryan Cranston.
Check it out. We got Clifton Taylor in the comments. He says,
"Okay, all right."
Hammer.
Yeah.
He says, "Hammer horror is his go-to." He says, "Mark, good to see you."
Yes,
and he also says, here. And then I felt good about this one. He says, "Mandy and Anthony, hi." So, thank you, Cliff. We miss you. Where are you, man?
Yeah.
Cliff was on with us 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
All right. So don't you like those shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and all them?
Okay. Say that again because you're echoing.
He likes Better Call. He's been watching Better Call Saul. Is that a show? What about? But didn't you like Breaking Bad?
No, I've never seen any of it.
Oh, really? No, I haven't
Uh,
seen it either.
Yeah. Well, it's,
I mean, I know what it is. My
sure.
friend Sarah actually watched that one. I believe my best friend back in Florida.
Sure.
She really liked the Breaking Bad show. I don't know who else would have watched it, but yeah, I've never seen it.
And then Mark wrote a message here for Cliff. It says he loves you, Cliff.
Hey, man.
That showed up in the private chat, so he wouldn't be able to see that.
Right.
But
Yeah, I
just
was gonna
wanted
say,
to let him know.
Yeah,
Christian's here. Christian Bester. Oh my God. He says Mark's the man.
What
Christian
an
Bester,
amazing
of course,
actor.
is
Oh, holy
yeah,
crap. What an amazing actor Christian is. Jesus H. Christ. I'm telling you. I've worked with a bunch of people, and he is amazingly good. I enjoyed it tremendously.
nice guy too. Very helpful on set. Awesome.
Extremely.
Can't say enough good things about Christian or Clifton or Mark Brubaker, who we have with us tonight. And so wait, we got one more from Matthew White here. He says, "Oh my God, it's Anthony and Mandy." And he also says, "Hey, Mark."
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Matthew? I didn't get the chance to meet Matthew, but I did friend him on Facebook. Again, tremendous person. All the people in this that I've met are just amazingly talented and very cool, very nice. It's just a pleasure to work with them. Cool.
With coming to set and everything, Mark, what did you anticipate the most?
You know what? I had no real idea what I was getting into. It's tough because each set is a bit different. Most people, when they do what you do, I think they tend to have a little bit more rigid framework, if that makes sense. That you stick to the script and you're doing this, and here's what you do, and here are your lines, and certainly we have that, but you guys are super flexible. And so when I think Christian would probably agree, when we did some of the improv stuff with this, it came out very well, very I thought it was good. And like I said, everyone was super supportive, no matter what time of day. And I didn't. Again, I'm kind of the person that doesn't want to leave until it's done. And you guys are that way, and Christian was that way. I totally appreciate that. But I wasn't anticipating that it would be that last night. It just got to be later and later and later. But I don't care. I don't really care. I mean, if you get the shot that you want, and some of the best directors, that's what they do. And you don't even have to ask, because I would do that. And you didn't ask, but it didn't matter. Does that help? I mean, I don't know if that's anticipating or not, but
yeah.
For a small production, you don't know what. I mean, I've been on big sets and things like that where it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty rigid. Here's the thing. Okay, you come in, you do this. See you later. Have a nice day. And that's not how you are. Everything's really open and welcome, and that's, you can't put a price on that. You just can't. So I mean, I'm up for anything you guys do, just because you're that way. Makes you feel comfortable, and the more comfortable an actor feels on a set, the better you're going to do.
Yeah, thanks so much. So we love working with you. I've mentioned that like 10 times. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'm like, yeah, Mark, and behind the scenes and stuff. Like, I like hanging out with Mark. So like when we film, especially this last time, we had a very small window to get this movie finished in. And so we just, we had a schedule, but it's like, if it goes beyond that, then, it's I think most of the people that came kind of knew what they were up for, that they would maybe be that late. I think with you, maybe you didn't realize how late it was going to be. So I probably should have did a better job of communicating that we sometimes I'm up till 6 a.m. doing the scenes.
Yeah. And I have been too, excuse me to interrupt, but I have been too, and I guess I roll with it. I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what you do. And you guys didn't say, well, we expect you to be here till 6 in the morning. It's like, I don't really care. I don't care. So I think, whatever it takes, that's what you do. So, yeah, no. And that probably did surprise me a little bit, but yeah.
Well, you did a good job.
I'll be honest. I'm just being honest. But no, I'm being honest. And the way I work, a lot of times, the more I work, the better I get. A lot of times I don't start well. I suck when I start. I mean, I just that's just how I do things. And the more I get into that and the more I see like, okay, here's what's going on. I don't know. I adapt and I just kind of bring it. I feel better the longer I'm doing stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I guess it comes from, I'll tell you, it comes from comedy. And I haven't done much. I mean, I see Tam Taylor's and, Killer Pizza and all that. And I've looked at some of her stuff and she's terrific. I wish I could be half the comedian she is. But I've done stand-up comedy and that teaches you a lot. The person who taught me the basics of it said, film yourself every time. You will see yourself getting better and you never know how good you are until you see how bad you were and how much you suck at the beginning. And so that's just the nature of show business. I think, the longer you work in it. And again, I've been on stage. I love stage. There are aspects that are really pretty cool, but I like film a little bit more. I don't know why. But stage teaches you to be more in the moment, if you can. And film is a little more forgiving in that you could have several takes if you have to. I don't like to do that because it wears on you and, as the filmmaker after a while. So, yeah. And again, it's who you work with. And in this case, the actors I worked with here, not that many of the cast, but whoever was hanging around that I could talk to about it, and whoever was in a scene with me, like Damaris, she was excellent. It's the first time I had ever worked with her. Christian, any of those folks, they were just excellent. I mean, they could do anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last scene that you filmed was that one in the morning with Christian, and I thought that turned out pretty good.
It did. I felt the best of the things that I did. That was good. It turned out to be my death scene. So hey, who knew?
So we kept you up and got the magic.
maybe I should shoot myself more often.
Whoa! Spoiler alert!
Yeah. Hey, and kudos even to Mandy for finding the plastic gun, because holy crap, it looked real.
Yeah, I had to saw the end off of it, and the end was made up of clay too.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I had to redo the end and everything, and I painted it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that way it looked like a real barrel.
I knew it was painted, but I didn't know that add clay to it too.
That looked real enough to me, and again, what's kind of cool about you two is that you kind of trade off doing things. It's like, okay, Mandy's doing the artwork, she's doing the props, she's doing the makeup, she's doing, scripting and stuff. You're out there filming, and you kind of work so well together. You don't, I think, see that a lot of times with like husband and wives. I mean, they'd be, more at each other's throats possibly. And that I didn't feel that at all with either of you. So that's, again, it made for an easy transition for me into something like that.
We love working with you. Yeah, Mandy does all the makeup stuff, all the props. I'm trying to think of exactly what she did in Bloodlust. She worked on a lot of props that we can't mention today without spoiling, but all the cool stuff that they see in the movie, all that stuff was either made from scratch by her or heavily altered or something. There, like, her touches on everything. We had one prop was custom made and shipped in, and even that had like a little touch that she added to it to put her own stamp on it. So that was pretty cool. She's got the skull right here. Show them the skull.
Oh, nice.
Then there's two other props that I didn't actually have to do anything to.
So,
but
so she
Yes.
those.
so she
Yeah.
sculpted this. It didn't have
That's
an eye or an
amazing.
ear or nose or any of
Yeah.
that stuff. So she did all that. I don't know if they can see the hair on it and stuff too. Yeah, she does all that cool stuff. All the makeup, all the scars and the gashes and all that stuff. She helps with writing too. You know, a lot of times we just need a quick rewrite, so she's sitting there fixing things quick for us, so we can go back and keep filming. What else do you do? A lot.
Well, I'm sure you do a lot
a
of
bunch of the graphics and all kinds of stuff.
You have me in the
She does all the
graphics,
wardrobe
writing,
stuff.
Wardrobe, props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
we
there's always
try-
a lot of behind the scenes. There's always a lot of behind the scenes stuff that no one sees. You know, I mean, again, it really is
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
Mhm. So we have a bunch of people
Cool.
giving shout outs to you and giving shout outs
Nice.
to each other. Just don't want to miss them, I guess. Clifton Taylor says, Tara Juliet and Christian Bester. Oh my God. Clifton's excited to see Matthew White. Patricia Wolf is here, says hello.
Nice.
Matthew White says, thanks, Mark. You're a great guy. And then
Thank you.
Clifton says, it was an honor to work with Mark. Patricia says, aloha, Mandy. Clifton is saying hello to Phil Petrano's his guy. Phil says, Clifton's my brother.
My brother.
Matthew White says, Phil's here too. Now we're rolling. Patricia says she's excited to see Christian Bester in the film. She's also excited to see Mark Brubaker.
Well,
Tara
thank you.
Juliet, whose daughters were in the movie, says that skull is sweet. And then Phil says Mandy is amazingly talented.
She is.
Thank you,
All
Phil.
right.
No,
So
she is.
everybody's excited to see Mark here tonight, and they're
Well, for
excited
in
to see all the
case
cool
there's
stuff
people tuning in
Mandy.
that don't know, this
Mhm.
is Pamela Voorhees.
Yeah.
All right, so Mark,
Nice.
what can you tell us about the movie that without spoiling it? Like what
Well, I mean, what you mean about my character, or just the movie in general? I mean,
both, yeah.
I think there's a lot of surprises in this. I think people will get a lot out of just everybody scaring the pants off of them from a little bit that I've seen. The characters, the different characters that I met, and the different characters I know are on this film are scary, and they should be, and you should be scared. Me, I'm not really scary. I'm just kind of corrupt, and I deserve to die. So, it's
Isn't that giving away a big spoiler?
Well, you already said.
well,
you kinda
everybody,
Put
yeah,
that on the thing,
every
spoiler.
Everybody
everybody
dies
is
in the
spoiler
movie.
alert. Everybody
You
dies.
just told
Yeah.
everybody everything.
I know. Everybody.
Now we
dies.
got to go back, resign. No,
I
I'm just kidding.
know,
We got to
that's it.
refilm it
Okay.
all.
All right.
He writes that.
We need those many black thingies to go.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody dies.
Let's see.
Man.
Yeah, it's
Um,
on the poster.
yeah,
Everybody. Well, it's on one of the posters. Nobody survives or whatever it says.
All right, that's what I say. I should have said it that way. I didn't say it. I was stupid.
No,
and just said
it doesn't
dies,
matter.
but yeah, I know. I'm just kidding, but it's like, yeah, everybody dies.
So,
Too
yeah.
late now.
What other
I know.
questions can we ask him about blood loss before we start
Well-
asking about the other stuff? Or what
Okay. Well, with
I think Mark wanted to say
filming and
something too.
everything, it's like
Okay.
when we were speaking about it before, and you're saying that it's not like what you kind of expected and everything like
Yeah.
that, and how like every film set is different.
Yes.
This is your first time working on an independent film, correct?
That's true. Yes, that's true. See, I'm used to more, like I said, here's what you do here. It's all pre-programmed, and there's like, there's not too much room for error. It's like, okay, these people show up at this time and this time and this time. You have a lot more things that are thrown at you, is what I'm trying to say, being an indie film, I think, and you handled it well. not everybody would be able to do that. If in personal life, I've seen things like that, and it's hard. It's difficult to just like, okay, somebody doesn't show up, or somebody's sick today, or something happens. Like, okay, we got to get a substitute. Okay, we got to do this. Well, got to scratch those lines. It's not working. And that's not easy to just do on the fly. And so that's what I see with you guys. But you handle it well, and not everybody would be able to do that. So and the larger
that's
sets,
one of the big things is adapting to all the sudden changes and everything. Because, like you said, with the independent film, there's always that chance that something's going to go wrong or not go as planned. So you have to be ready to make those changes when necessary. So I think it's already kind of in our minds, like what we could do if something had happened, because we expect it to. Yeah. It's like you hope for the best and you hope that everything's going to go smoothly and everything, but there's always something that will happen.
We don't necessarily expect it to go wrong. We just plan for it. We want to be prepared for it. So, it could rain today. Okay, so if it rains, then we got to have something to cover the camera quick so we can get the shot. Or like, we were talking to Christian, the scene that you had with him, it was supposed to be outside the office, starts raining, everyone's kind of panicking. It's all good. We'll move it inside. We'll get the scene shot and everything's great, and I think it turned out pretty good. So.
Well, it's like with one of our main actors, they came down with COVID, like the day before filming. So it's like we had to work around that and everything. And it's like, we make sure to be prepared for things like that.
And you don't have the staff to be able to handle those things in a bigger set when you've got ADs and PAs and things like that. I mean, there's somebody like, okay, get that. Let's get somebody. Okay, go get that. It's just you. That's the tremendous responsibility, and it's hard to make that magic because like you can't always pull that rabbit out of the hat, and you do. From what I've seen, you do, and that's a testament to you.
Yeah, we went through a lot in October, so I think at this point we're pretty much as ready for for anything. Whatever it takes, and we have such a big cast that's counting on us to get the movie made, and all these parents that drove their kids out, that Sunday, and, all the musicians and the remote actors, the voice actors, and so.
Yeah, that was amazing. The amount of kids that you were able to get when I asked you, well, did you just go down to New York City and grab a bunch of kids? And like, oh no, they flew in from all over the country. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, from all over. I mean, they flew in to film. Some of them were waiting for a year to film. They had been waiting and sending me emails. Are we still going to make the movie? So we can't just we can't just like drop the ball if something happens. We have to make the movie. So. Whatever it takes.
But what my point is that not everybody would say that. Okay, at some point some people might just say, "Well, we're going to edit it as we have it, and then we'll put it in the can and see what comes out." And that's not what I get out of either of you, and that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Thank you.
That's a basis of a good filmmaker, I think. When I think of people who maybe started small and got bigger, because you're learning and you're actually, I suspect, don't make the same mistakes twice. And that is huge. It's huge. So, and that's hard to do with a movie because there's so many different aspects of a movie that I've seen. And, having, like I said, been on bigger sets, there's so much to it that to try to keep that all straight, very tough, very, very tough. Even, and you have a huge cast in this that appeared over a long period of time, months, really, if you think about it. And, this person's coming in this day. We got this person coming in for a couple of days here. We're shooting this. So you have to, a lot of times, rearrange in your mind, I'm sure, what you're doing. Even though, of course, you do the filming out of sequence. Hardly anyone would do anything in sequence anymore. I don't think it's possible to even do that. But you kind of handle it really well. I some of the stuff, I don't know that I would have done that well, given the circumstances.
Yeah, we filmed like the climax of the movie on the first day, which was kind of strange, right? Because and I wanted to kind of build up to get there, but the schedule just wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't have been able to make it otherwise, so we had to do it that way. And everybody's beat tired. Christian was out there all day in the Jason costume taking pictures with kids. It's 100 degrees outside. He's got this heavy costume on. He's exhausted. I've been filming all day, back to back kids all day. We're beat, but we have to get the movie made. So we have, if we have to go film the end of the movie, then that's our window of opportunity, and we have to get in there and make sure we get it, because otherwise we don't have a movie. And we have to have it done. And it has to look good and feel good. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasting everybody's time. So it has to be something that's better than average. And I want it to be something that everybody's proud of. And, it's, we have cool actors like you, and, you're used to, being on, the HBO shows and all that stuff. Right. So, I have to try my best to uphold that reputation and keep you looking as good as possible. I can't drop the ball. So
no, and you didn't, and like I said, it's a testament to like someone like Christian, who's just so decent, and he just didn't give up. I mean, I see him, hey, I got to go sleep in my car for a while, I'll be up, and then he's back up doing stuff, and it's like, that's that's just what you have to do, especially as a lead character. I mean, you got a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. And, and I've spent a ton of time talking about like how awesome Christian is and how much I enjoy working with him and all that stuff. But, also just to put this out there, is I think that's a big part of what separates him from not only having the talent, the look, and being a great guy and all that stuff, but just being willing to do what's necessary to get the job done is going to separate him from, other actors most of the time. So for people out there that are aspiring and want to be, seen in films, I think that's half of the battle, is showing up and doing what you have to do to get the job done. And Christian does that. He's up 20 hours, 22 hours every day with me, filming scenes, taking pictures with the kids or whatever. Crazy. And if I needed help setting up lights or something, he would have jumped in and did that stuff. But and he's got two of the major roles in the film too. He's got Jason and he's got John Hawthorne, which are like these two huge roles. It's just a lot to put on somebody, and he did such a great job all the way around. So I'll never say anything but good things about him.
Well, when you have people like that on set with you, it makes you better. I will say. And I've had that happen in stage productions I've been in, where people just, I don't know, whether it's a chemistry thing, I don't know, but you kind of just have you can work with them well, and you just like, they bring out the best in you. And he does that. And that's another thing I would add to his credit, which is why I enjoyed working with him. I mean, it's phenomenal. So
I'm going to put a cheap plug out there. All right. The Finishing Funds campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss goes live on Indiegogo September 1st at midnight. This is the campaign that we're going to use to raise the funds that we need to have a premiere for the cast, their family, their friends, and all that. It's also going to help us produce the Blu-rays, and just goes towards post-production costs. So we'll have
all post-production cost. Try to make a post on Instagram.
So we'll have a ton of cool perks available right at midnight on September 1st, including last chance producer credits, custom merchandise, all sorts of autographed items that we had the cast autograph during filming, machetes, replica machetes, clapper boards, and posters, and all kinds of things. So set your alarms, mark your calendars, September 1st at midnight. The Finishing Funds campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss goes live on Indiegogo. If we're able, so this campaign, guys, is only going to be for 30 days. It's only set for 30 days. If we reach our goal within those 30 days, we'll be able to release the film this year, have a premiere for the cast, and get the Blu-rays made. So it's very important that you help us out. Donate if you're able to. If you can't donate, help us out by sharing the campaign on your social media sites. That helps a lot. We just want to try to get as many eyes on it as possible. Mark Brubaker, you are on HBO's The Gilded Age. Mm-hmm. How did that come to be?
Well, it was really before the pandemic. They were talking about shooting locally because Troy, New York has a lot of old architecture, old like 19th century architecture that's perfect for that. And so they had, I think they must have had a flyer out or something that said, hey, anybody interested in doing, working on it. I had put in for it and then heard nothing because the pandemic shut all the productions down. And then sometime, it must have been 2021, I guess. Yeah, it was 2021 spring. I just got an email saying, hey, could you give us, like some more, not headshots, just take some selfies and send them in. We know you were interested. And I didn't know who was talking to me because a lot of times they just don't say. They won't say, we're, HBO Productions. It just comes at you from out of the blue. So I submitted and they said, okay, just come on down. We'll take a look at you. And, if you have the right look, we'll get you fitted. And then you had to go through all the COVID testing and things like that. So it just, with stuff like that, it's just, you have to look right. And I just happened to fit in with something, it's a look. I mean, people have asked, well, how did you get on this stuff? It's like, well, you start by maybe a couple days here and there, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, well, could you fill in here, and could you do this, and and hey, we have an overnight shoot coming up. Do you mind? I mean, we had 4:30 casting calls that lasted all day into the night, kind of like what you're talking about with Christian. I mean, you just stay. You just stay. They had overnight shoots because they needed to shoot outside shots, exterior shots in the dark, kind of like what things that you were doing. And so you just keep staying. And I know they appreciate that because they keep asking you back. And even though, a lot of times, well, I didn't have any lines in the stuff because I've been background and this will be the third season. I'm going to start working this week on it again on the third season. But you still can act. I liken it more towards silent films because you can still show expression and you can still act without saying anything. And a lot of people don't. I don't think they really kind of get that sometimes, that, as the camera, the mics pick up everything. So if you're a background person, you're not supposed to talk, or unless they want you to laugh or, they have a thing called an extreme utterance. If they want, hey, look at that, they don't pay you for that per se, but they want you to say something. But without that, you can still act. Your facial expressions show everything. If you watch silent movies like I do, some of the best actors were in silent film, but you never heard a word because a lot of them didn't transition well into the talkies, once 1929 came around. But so there's a part of that I enjoy. I'd rather have some lines, but it's still acting. I've been on stage, but I like The Gilded Age because it's a good period piece. I do well in something like Old West. It's a good, my look looks like, I'd be in a saloon someplace and probably get shot, that kind of thing. Stuff like the 30s, bootlegger stuff. I'm always interested in Depression era films, things like that. And this just fit. I really kind of liked it. And I love the costumes, and the direction was superb. I mean, I even got along. Michael Engler's the director of the Gilded Age, and he's done lots of stuff. He's done, Sex and the City, over the years. He's very, very good, but he's approachable. And, he had given me some advice, and I, if I see him on set, he's easily you can talk to him. You can't do that with every director. Some yell a lot and you don't want to talk to them. Some just don't want to be bothered. But he is not one of those. So, and it flows down from him to all the ADs and the PAs. Same with, I was on we had, I forget who directed that series though, the Billion series. They shot some stuff in around the Albany area. And again, they're pretty easy to work with, easy people. But not all of them are. So, again, I kind of like working different scenes, and I have that face that looks like a cop, as you probably know. So I get look, they said, the second season I played a Pinkerton and I played a 1890s, street beat cop, and amongst other things, because they said, your face just looks like you should be a policeman. So I was like, okay, it's a role, and I get that. And again, it's fun. We can put on the Irish accent and say, good morning to you. How are you doing today at the top of the morning and all that stuff. You just don't get to be recorded. So, and I love doing accents.
Yeah, I mean, you have a great look. I suspect that they like having you there because you have the right look. You're a you're a talented actor. You're professional. You're easy to get along with. If they needed you to stay for those overnight things, it sounds like you did it, and they're like, okay, this guy's perfect. So
they'll have you back. Yeah, they'll definitely back. And that's like Woody Allen said, 80% of life is just showing up. A lot of people don't show. It sounds, you'd be surprised, the call outs and stuff that people say, and again, in a cast of, well, you had, maybe 80, 90 folks in your cast, but it just for background actors, I mean, these people just get tired of it, and they just can't take it. It's a lot. It's a lot of, people don't think it's a lot of work, but it is a lot of work.
Right.
Even though so you just have to be perseverant, and that's one thing.
Even for us, we had a few in Blood Loss. They're moving tables around and stuff. I'm sure. I'm sure. A full day. Imagine doing a full day of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And lots of times it's uncomfortable stuff. It's uncomfortable to be like the weather right now. Think about the weather. The production of all of this stuff for the Gilded Age is all the authentic wool suits in 95-degree weather or whatever it is. That's not comfortable. They had people faint on sets. A couple women, that just faint right out. They had to carry them off and get medical attention and stuff. It's just part of it. You just have to endure, however you do that.
So we have Vin Mayo in the comments. He's giving me a cue here. He's giving me a cue to mention that Boredom and Bloodshed, our brand new project, goes live on Indiegogo 1 week from today.
Nice.
So it's going to be live in exactly 7 days. The pre-launch campaign has been active. Everybody's been signing up with their email for exclusive offers and updates. If you haven't done that yet, there's still time. But the full campaign goes live in exactly 1 week from now. And you'll be able to get all kinds of cool perks from that project, including associate producer credits, custom merchandise, acting opportunities, and more. We have a special deal that's for 1 day only. So in 1 week from today, on August 9th, Friday, August 9th, you can get an associate producer credit. It's only $99. How cool is that? Then it looks like Mark, do you have your Blood Loss shirt on?
I do, man. I do.
Oh, I saw the top of the mask.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. No, and I've told everybody in my, friend circle, whatever, to sign up for, again, for the finishing, the finishing funds, because they all want to see it.
He's listening. He was just
I know.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I get
it. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
All right.
No, like I said, so I'm trying to plug it. I'm going to do some more, just of my own circle of people that I know that are in actors and things. And once I get on set for the Gilded Age, I'm going to broadcast it out to them too. So that, because they know that I've been in it. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, so the Indiegogo campaign for Boredom and Bloodshed goes live midnight on August 9th. That's exactly 1 week from today. For 1 day only on that day, associate producer credits will only be $99. After that, we will not offer the credit that cheap again. We will not offer a different credit for that cheap. It's the cheapest that you can get it from us. We did this with Killer Pizza. We said we would do it for one day only, and that's what we did. We never offered that credit for the same amount again. That one was an assistant producer. This one's an associate producer. So you can actually get an associate producer credit, which a lot of people like. It's only $99. After that, the price goes up. The Indiegogo campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss, the Finishing Funds campaign, goes live September 1st at midnight. That's the one that we're raising money for the premiere and the Blu-rays and all that cool stuff. But then we have another campaign that's active right now. It's in demand on Indiegogo, and it's for a full-length feature film that we're working on. It's a horror comedy starring Mark Brubaker, and it's called Killer Pizza.
I can't wait for this. Honest to God, I cannot wait to do this. This is amazingly. I love comedy and horror. People, you say that to people and they go like, well, how can that be? But then again, you look at, it works. And you look at the Addams Family. You look even it's stuff that I grew up with. There is some comedy in horror and can be. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have an amazing cast attached to it, including Mark Brubaker, Christian Bester, Tom Glynn, Walter Phelan, Al Burke, Colin Field, Nancy Ann Ritter, Cam Taylor, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. Someone else, literally, as we were going live, signed up for an acting perk and sent me a message. This is definitely a good project to get involved with. You can't go wrong. There are a ton of good names attached to it, a lot of good people attached to it. It's definitely one that you don't want to miss out on. And
if you can't be on set, we do have the remote opportunity available. So the remote acting perk, you get to do that from the convenience of your home, and you don't need any special equipment, just a cell phone to record your video.
Nice. So yeah, there are perks for everybody. So there are let's see, Matthew White's listing off names. So Mark Brubaker, Christian Bester, Phil Petrano, Anthony. I'll be in the movie. Oh my God. We have to get Cliff involved in some way. We have to see what we can do. Cliff, where are you?
Yeah, he is amazing. Oh my God. I remember I meet him. I get there and he's one of the first people when I get in my car. He came right up, shook my hand. I was like, "Hey, I'm Cliff." I was like, "Wow, okay, cool. Where are you from?" He goes, "Minnesota." I was like, "What?" I said, "How long did it take you to get here?" He goes, "About 18 hours." Whoa, man, that blew me away. Such a decent person. Holy crap. Yeah.
The actors
He's always so happy when he talks, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm. The actors from Blood Loss are from all over the country, from California, Minnesota, Michigan, Tennessee, just all over. It'll be that way with Killer Pizza too. They'll be all from all over the place, flying in, driving in. 2-day drive or long flight or whatever the case. It's definitely a project that people don't want to miss out on. We have a ton of cool perks available right now on Indiegogo. Mark's going to have a cool role in that one. We're excited for everybody to see what he does in Killer Pizza and Blood Loss.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Mark's role. We had gotten to go over that and everything, and it's going to be really awesome.
I've got a hold of a couple props for that, and I can't wait to. What I'm going to try to do is put a look together and see what you think, and I'll photograph myself and send it to you, Mandy, and see what you think. You gave me some tips on some movies to look at, and I've done that, and I just kind of started thinking like, what could I do with this? And I think so. We'll see what happens. But
it's going to be good. I got excited as soon as you told me like the name and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what? It's like the character that I had imagined up for you. I think everybody's going to be really excited for it.
Yeah.
Don't want to give anything away.
No, I'm not giving that away. No, it's like hey, everybody dies.
So we promised, me and Mark came up with something really good.
Yeah.
So we're almost at the 1 hour mark. While we still have you here, is there anything that we should have mentioned that we didn't get a chance to mention?
Nah, I mean, like I said, the biggest thing I took away from all of this is the selflessness of you guys, the actors that I worked with and met. Everybody gave 110% that I saw, and I didn't see half of it because I wasn't involved originally back in October, but I suspect it was the same way.
I don't know. it was this time.
You'd have a different idea. Yeah, well, anyway.
Our first week of filming didn't go as planned, so everything was like really off. Our second week, everything did go smoothly and everything according to schedule and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this time around, it was like the third time was the charm.
Yeah. Well, and you're getting better. I'm telling you, you're getting, you guys, I could just see it even though the little time that I was there. You're getting, you know what to look for. You're getting really good at figuring out, okay, we have to fill this in or we have to do it. And that's, it made it go a lot smoother. There's always glitches.
Filming, I don't think anybody could have planned for that.
I'm sure not. Yeah, I'm sure not.
So if somebody wants to hire you to be a part of their projects, are you open to that? And then what is the formal way to contact you?
Well, I have on my IMDb page, I also have a website that I started. In fact, I think I'm going to switch that around a little bit. But right now, I have a website called creativevoiceconcepts.com where I have some stuff featured. I have a couple videos and some of my voice. I have a lot of professional voice demos that I've done because I've done some professional voiceover work as well. Probably, but even the IMDb Pro page, it's Mark Charles Brubaker. And, if you look me up, you'll see mostly the stuff that you've done for film. And I have some shots from like Gilded Age. I don't know. I did stage work that I had some kind of promos for. I played Scrooge. I got some good lead roles on stage. But I'm just trying to build. I'm trying to build on that. Unfortunately, that you can't directly put voice files on the IMDb Pro page, so I referenced them via my own website. So that's Did
you say you were Scrooge too in one of the?
Yeah, I played Ebenezer Scrooge in a local production. Actually, the local production I got paid. They had up in Saratoga Springs. The Saratoga Performing Arts does a lot of work. Some of it's like for the community, things like that, but they'll put on certain productions. And the one Christmas time they had they called it a Christmas Carol experience, and it was what they call a kind of an ensemble. How can I say it? The audience was right around you. It was not like the typical stage where you have a proscenium and you're on stage and the audience is down there. The audience was everywhere. So you could experience that close up. You could actually go up to someone and say a line or say something to them. And it gave them a different kind of stage experience. I loved it. I loved it. I had auditioned for another horror down in it was actually an off-Broadway called The Dreams of Dracula last year, and I didn't get anything out of it, but a tremendous production where they rented it was like a multi-story theater, and they turned it into a bunch of rooms and things like that where you could have an experience, let's say with Van Helsing, you could be Dracula, or you could be, you could play as a person signing up for it. You could play kind of different parts. And then they had somebody, playing Renfield and someone playing Dracula and somebody playing, some of the vampire women and things like that. It was an amazing production. I just didn't get to be part of it. But that's the kind of cool stuff I love to do. And I think that went on for about a month and a half, performances. So, So I like I said, and the Scrooge part was a hell of a lot of fun because I got to be the awful pain in the ass Scrooge, and then I got to be the reformed Scrooge, and I got to be the one that was frightened when Marley's coming after me, the ghost of Marley. So yeah, it was good. And the direction, some of the people that co-directed it have done things in LA and Hollywood, have done movies and done stage productions and off-Broadway. And so I got a lot of tips from that, and I really enjoyed doing it. And so we did the same kind of thing that you guys are doing. We did a promo for those performances where we just did street walking as the actors and just went up to people and said, hey, you know, and you know, hawk tickets and just said, hey, look, this is a great show. And we filled the place, you know, and people were at first not, they didn't understand what it was, because like I said, it was done in a building that really wasn't a normal stage production. It was more like a set. It was more like a set. So, and you know, that's kind of what led me into wanting to do film, because I saw that and I was like, wow, I could be right here, and the actors are right there, and even the people in the audience are kind of right there. So it was a mixture. It was a mixture of what I would call like stage and film. So yeah, I got a real thrill out of that. It was a hell of an experience. So
I love A Christmas Carol. It's one of my favorite Charles Dickens stories.
yeah.
But I'm like a sucker for it. No matter how bad a movie might be, any take on it, I watch it.
Oh, she made me watch one a year or two ago. It was
See, I told you.
It's like a musical. It's like a Ryan Reynolds musical.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I liked it. It was Ryan Reynolds and
I don't know who else, but it was a Ryan Reynolds musical, and it was, you know, the Christmas Carol, but Ryan Reynolds singing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it had what's his face in it?
I don't know.
Well, he's a good actor. Yeah, and
actor.
Ryan Reynolds, a very good. He's a good actor, and he's a good businessman. He started that whole Mint Mobile thing, and I've seen him on stuff, and he's approachable. He's smart, and he's just like a normal person. You know, it's some actors are not that way. They're not approachable, and you really don't get the feeling like you know that they don't want to be bothered. You know, but he is not that. Yeah.
She's got to know who the other person in the movie.
Oh,
was.
she's looking it up. Oh, really? Okay.
Okay, the movie was Spirited.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure.
And it had Will Ferrell in it with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay, Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So it's worth watching.
It was something.
He doesn't like musicals. I like musicals.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, you know.
I like them a lot.
I can take him or leave. It depends what it is. Depends what it is. Well, and there for a while they were totally out of favor. People got kind of tired of them. There was a whole, you know, era that musicals didn't, you know, it didn't work so well. But I kind of grew up. I was in a play, The King and I, when I was younger in high school, and I liked it. And I had a speaking part in that. And I always loved some of those movies, the older movies, like the Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals and stuff like that from the 50s. I kind of liked them, you know, but, and even some of the more modern ones. I mean, I didn't appreciate La La Land as much. I think it was a little too over the top. But yeah, it's, you know, it has its place. I think it's just it's like a different era now with film. Not a lot of people appreciate that. I don't know.
Well, it might be coming back a little bit more too with the Joker coming out. I don't know.
Yes. No, you're right.
What they do with that, you know.
Yep.
Disney over the years, you know, even in modern times, has done a lot of big stuff with musicals. They have, and done it well. You know, I've seen. I actually like a lot of the Disney stuff. Sounds kind of nutty for, you know, but yeah, they do a good job. Yeah, definitely. I'm just making sure I'm not missing comments here. Sure. All right. So we've had Mark on for about an hour. Where can people find you to follow you on social media? Ooh, well, Facebook, it's, I think I'm on as just, I think I changed it to either Creative Voice Concept or just Mark Charles Brubaker. That's and same thing, Instagram, Facebook, you know, and I'm not on X so much. I never really took much of that. On Instagram, it says Mark C. Brubaker. Oh, does it? So I say I don't know if I changed it to Mark Charles Brubaker on there. So yeah, so it's Mark C. Brubaker. Yeah. Very cool. I want to get you back on again down the road a little bit with like Christian and Clifton, or I would love that. Other cast members.
would
you
love that.
filmed scenes with. That'd be a lot of fun to have you on with some of the Blood Loss cast. And then we'll end up dragging you back on so you can do it again with all the Killer Pizza people too.
Sure.
So we hope to have you on like another 10 times or something.
No, I don't care. I whatever you need. And you know what'd be cool? Why don't you get Christian, Clifton, Vin, and Damaris?
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of a cool mix of people. I enjoyed every one of them. Like I said.
We liked working with everybody really this time around. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. All those guys are awesome. We have a lot of fun together. So yeah, super excited to work with you on Killer Pizza. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Oh sure.
And we'll we're always chatting. So we'll be in touch and
sure.
I'll have you back on soon.
Thanks so much. I mean, whatever I can add to it, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I really mean that. People say that.
Really looking forward to working with you again, Mark.
Yeah, same here.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We had our special guest, Mark Brubaker from Friday the 13th Blood Loss and HBO's The Gilded Age and the upcoming horror comedy Killer Pizza, which is behind me here. And then it's behind Mark there on the banner.
And in front of Christian.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, giving us some insight on The Gilded Age, and we'll have you back on to pick your brain some more soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night.
You take care.
All right.
Good night, Mark.
How cool was that? We had Mark Brubaker from Friday the 13th Blood Loss, HBO's The Gilded Age, and Killer Pizza, the movie. Right? What's that movie about?
Killer Pizza, the movie?
Yeah.
Well, Killer Pizza is about Tony. He owns a rundown pizza shop, and he's indebted to the local mafia. And that character is going to be being played by Tom Glynn from Creepshow. Well, some unfortunate events happen, and he has to basically entrust into his pizza delivery boy to help him get around to deliver his revenge. But along the way, they do meet one more little sidekick there of theirs, and the rest is history. And speaking of history, get your name cemented in history alongside the actors, which, like I said, Tom Glynn will be starring in this film as Tony Man, and basically he's the pizza too. Then we're going to have Colin Field playing Brandon, the pizza delivery boy. Then we're going to have Walter Phelan. He's going to be playing Mafia's right-hand man. And then I'm getting lost here. We have Albert. I'm echoing, so it sounds funny. So sorry I'm talking weird. I have an echo in my ear. I keep trying to turn this down.
Albert.
But we have Albert, Nancy Ann Ritter, Tam Taylor.
Colin Field.
I said Colin Field.
Mark Brubaker. By the way, let's talk about Mark Brubaker real quick because he's gone now. I don't think he can hear us.
Take this out since I don't have to listen to him because I'm throwing myself off.
All right, yeah, let's talk about him now that he's gone.
I know. What bad things you want to say?
So Mark is not only a super talented guy, but he's a very he's very fun to film with. He's easygoing. You know, he had the right look for the role we gave him. He was talented and all that stuff. But that's kind of a given with Mark, right? You guys already know that stuff about Mark. So what you don't know is that it's actually really fun to film with him too. Just super easy to joke around with, but still get the scenes filmed, and very generous with his time, and just an amazing guy. We're super grateful for him being a part of Blood Loss and Killer Pizza. And if you guys are interested in reaching out to Mark to be part of your project, then don't do it because we want him. No, I highly recommend that you reach out to Mark, and you know, consider getting him involved with one of your films, because he's great to work with. Do you want to say anything about Mark?
Yeah, I really enjoyed working with them, and I don't know, he was very patient, very kind, especially when I had to do makeup and everything on him. He knew what to do.
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
Very professional.
You don't know what to expect from the actors if you haven't worked with them before. So this being our first time actually meeting them in person and working with them, because we've done this with, like, you know, 200 people, and you meet some of them, and you know that you have great chemistry online, but when you meet them in person, they're total weirdos or whatever the case. And Mark was you know, everything that we thought he would be and more. He was great to work with.
I'm
No,
joking.
he was, you know, it was easy to, you know, you just don't know what to expect. So meeting him in person, we would joke around and laugh and have a good time filming. And it was very easy to kind of switch gears and pivot if we had to. Like the scene where it started raining, he was filming outside. It starts raining, and it's like, all right, well, let's take this, move it inside. It'll take 5 minutes to move the equipment and get these scenes done. So we did that, and it was, you know, it turned out great, and it was just a lot of fun to film with. So I just throwing it out there. If you guys, you know, you guys should want Mark to get involved with your projects. What I'm trying to say, without giving them away, because I want them. All right. Well,
I could see him in the backstage there laughing.
Is he laughing? Oh, I didn't know he could. I didn't know he could hear us. Mark, we were just talking about you. All right. So Friday the 13th, Blood Loss Finishing Funds campaign goes live on Indiegogo September 1st at midnight. This is your last chance to get producer credits on the film. This is also the most important campaign, because this is the one that's going to allow us to have that premiere. It's going to help us with all of our finishing funds. A lot of these films do like long drawn out post-production campaigns. We're not doing that. It's a 30-day campaign. If we reach our goal within the 30 days, we'll be able to release the movie this year, have a premiere for the cast, get the Blu-rays made, and all the other fun stuff. So help us out by donating to the campaign. If you're unable to donate, help us out by sharing it with your friends on social media. We want to try to get as many eyes on it as possible. The campaign for Boredom and Bloodshed goes live 1 week from today for 1 day only. You get yourself an associate producer credit on the film for only $99. After that Friday, a week from today, the price goes up, and it's not going back down ever. So get it. It's 1 week from today, $99. You can't go wrong. The campaign for Killer Pizza pretty much speaks for itself. It's in demand on Indiegogo, and it has been. It has an amazing cast. You know, I want to say that it's the best cast, but I feel like a jerk if I say that. But it really has an amazing cast with.
I have the best cast.
All right. Well, it kind of does. So, and you know, all it's missing is you. So why don't you get involved through the Indiegogo campaign today? So many people keep sending me messages asking me how to get involved. This is the easiest way to get involved. You sign up for a perk. It helps us produce the film. You are guaranteed whatever you sign up for. It's the easiest way to get involved, and you should do it. And if you don't, then I don't know. I don't know how to help you.
I wanted to go back over Boredom and Bloodshed, though.
Okay.
For those who are just kind of tuning in and haven't really heard about our campaign yet, this is our new. It's a series. It's going to be titled Thrill Kill, and it's a holiday series. So each episode is going to be focused around a slasher killer during the holiday, and it's going to be, you name it. You have Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are our first ones that we're going to be introducing. So with this first one, we have Christian Bester already attached, and we'll be making some more announcements for it pretty soon. So it's going to be a pretty neat project. It is only each episode is about 20 minutes. That's what we agreed on. for the short?
Yeah, each short will be about 20 minutes long. It'll be bookended with a horror host. Each one is centered around a different holiday theme. The first one's Halloween. So how do you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
That's the one that everybody's going to want to jump on board with because, well, you want to get involved with all of them. But this one's exciting because it's the first one. So it's the very first time that you'll see some of these original characters that we're coming up with for you. It's the first time that you'll be able to get your name attached to the series, and you never know what could happen with these characters down the road. In a year from now, we might take characters from this movie and make a feature film or something. You never know. So this is definitely a good project to get involved with, especially if you're an aspiring actor, voice actor, or whatever, because they're brand new opportunities to be involved with an original character that's tied to this ongoing series. And we could get this thing in festivals. We can have it played at horror conventions. It's an original IP, so the sky's kind of the limit with it. With Blood Loss, of course, we don't own the IP. It's a fan film, so we have limited distribution options. We're not allowed to monetize the film. With Boredom and Bloodshed, it's completely open. We can do whatever we want with it. We can make merchandise from the characters. We can just get it put on streaming platforms. We can have it in festivals or wherever. So if you don't get involved with these projects, I don't know what else to tell you. And the same thing goes with Killer Pizza, by the way. We have original characters popping up there. It's an original IP. MANDEE might put it on some streaming platforms or whatever. So if that's what you want, then that's what you're going to get. Only if you sign up through the Indiegogo campaigns. Killer Pizza's in demand. Boredom and Bloodshed goes live August 9th. And then the Finishing Funds campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss goes live September 1st at midnight. It's the one you've been waiting for. All right, guys?
Yeah, the one you've been waiting for.
Yeah, all three of them are the ones you've been waiting for, right?
Yeah, all three of them are the ones you've been waiting for. And remember, by donating to our campaigns, those funds, not only like if you're donating for like the acting perks and everything, not only does it help you and everything, it does help us get that movie made. So help us.
And remember, Jason never dies.
Okay, and then remember, Killer Pizza never dies.
All right.
I'm going to say that too.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We're going to be back Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern with Emmett O'Brien. Emmett O'Brien. Yeah,
You didn't tell me that.
He's never been on with us.
That's a big deal.
He's never been on with us. He has a big role in Killer Pizza. The movie actually, he has a big role in Blood Loss.
Blood Loss.
The movie centers around Emmett's character. So he'll be on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern for a must-see episode. Don't miss it.
How am I going to get his autograph?
You can get his autograph by donating to the Indiegogo campaign starting September 1st at midnight. We have some posters, not a lot of them, but we have a few of them that we got him to sign for us. And I actually mean that. We don't have a lot. I could only get him to sign a few of them.
I signed like 10 of them.
Did he? Okay,
Yeah.
well, there might be 5 or 10, and that's it. So once those are gone, you cannot get his autograph on the poster. That is it. That's what you have. So, yeah.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
look into it. I want his autograph.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We enjoyed it. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you all on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.